Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about dungeon crawls. Let's talk about role-playing games. Let's talk about hidden information, clues, riddles, and mysteries that you might not have noticed before that lead to brand new piles of story, flavor text, and character progression. Let's talk about a seemingly open world with, a reference towards the day-night cycle, the weather, the environment that you've been in, and the decisions that you've made. Let's talk about a game that pulls all of that off while still being on the table and not in a digital version. Let's talk about Malhya, Lands of Legends. This is the best description for it, is a role-playing game on the table with a ton of different variability when it comes to character progression, how you build your stats, what adventures you go on, and just here in the demo version, I'm insanely excited to show off this title. You see, this is a dungeon crawl, but it's a dungeon crawl that's taken to another level, with riddles, hidden clues, story text, actual character choices, kind of a choose-your-own-adventure puzzle from time to time, and it doesn't just play in this dungeon crawl system on its own. It's not just slay all the bad guys. Sometimes it is be sleuthy, sneak, leak up behind them, and stab them in the gut before they make any noise. Other times it's go in guns blazing with a warhammer at your side and 12 throwing darts, and then, once again, we zoom back out. We're here in the exploration board. We're telling the story, progressing the narrative, discovering the lands, and going out on whatever direction or whatever adventure we want to, while still keeping in mind there is an overarching narrative. There is a quest that we are on. There's a day and night cycle that's continuing to shift, and depending on the choices we've made, the landscape that we've painted, whether it's full of bodies in our wake, or gold and riches and storytelling mystery, we will be moving this forward. You will never get stuck in a lurch here in Malhya. So, I've had the chance to play through this demo copy. We've scripted up a thing. I hired a voiceover artist to go ahead and give us the framework. We're always experimenting with content here on Quackalope, and I decided with Lands of Legends to go ahead and do that once more. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it breaks down everything you need to know about Malhya. With that being said, let's start the B-roll.
When the balance of the planet Malhya is threatened, a group of heroes comes forth. You are one of those heroes, a bearer of extraordinary abilities, mastering the power of the aura, the energy of the planet itself. You will fulfill missions one by one to thwart the plans of the enemies set in your path. In this grand narrative adventure game, you will be able to live a complete hero's experience. As you explore regions and dungeons, your abilities will be tested in numerous events. You can infiltrate, fight, craft, negotiate, solve puzzles, but above all, live a story that will be told according to the choices you make. You play the role of a group of heroes, the Awakened, who will be entrusted with missions of great importance. Each mission is portrayed in detail as a scenario. The path you take will depend on how your group performs, but moreover, it will depend on your choices. Your path will be unique each time you play. Malhya, Lands of Legends is a narrative role-playing experience played out over multiple scenarios, some only taking an hour, while others will span several hours as you uncover more about your heroes and about the world of Malhya. This is a game with immense replay value as you revisit scenarios, and if you can't commit to a full, all-in-one session adventure, you can always save your progress and pick up where you left off before. Boards on the table track the day, the region, the stealth, the physical exploration, and the heroes themselves, all alongside detailed miniatures which bring life to the legends of Malhya and the heroes who you play. Each scenario will have a specific setup that will determine how the adventurers start the day, but your hero and knapsack boards will always stay close by so you can keep tabs on everything regarding your hero. For those wondering what to expect from an expansive world like this, Malhya Lands of Legends will offer both a campaign full of connected scenarios, as well as independent scenarios that don't require the fuller commitment of a lengthy campaign. The design of Malhya is focused on creating an enriched narrative experience, like other big games in the campaign scenario-based genre, but there are three main gameplay elements that shine. The setup and teardown time has been fine-tuned to make for an accessible experience. Dungeon crawling is present, but the game also features land exploration, riddles, and a deeply rooted narrative system. And then, a fail-safe against losing. Despite setbacks, the adventure will continue, and the players will not have to retread the same steps again and again until they win. This is a cooperative adventure for 1 to 5 players with a campaign that can evolve over hundreds of hours of gameplay. But if players want a one-shot experience, there are scenarios that they can tackle with just that in mind. So Malhya will accommodate a lot of player agency in what happens in the game. When delving into the narrative, players will explore the region and encounter unique events that will influence their heroes. There will be the need for stealth and infiltration, enabling players to approach obstacles with non-combative solutions. Puzzles and riddles will require the heroes to question their environment and unlock the mysteries of Malhya. Combat will force the players into adversity, promoting clever planning and tactics. All of this occurs within a 9-chapter narrative where nothing is set in stone, and your decisions will affect the fate of your heroes. The branching narrative, the expansive world, and the meaningful decisions all create a player experience that is impressive in scope. Malhya is offering a role-playing game where players decide the path, and success or failure are just singular steps in a larger story. In an effort to build a memorable experience for players, the game divides play into 2 main phases: the travel phase and the explore phase. The first creates a sense of open adventure as players decide where the heroes go, all while events transpire throughout the region. And the second provides the opportunity for players to experiment between stealth and combat, manipulating the environment around them. It's a deeper dive into what's possible in the campaign-based dungeon crawling genre, and Malhya is setting the stage to do some things differently. Armor, weapons, artifacts, talents. Players have a lot to consider when thinking about how their hero will evolve. As heroes level up, players will be able to decide the different skill paths and abilities that might suit their playstyle and their hero's persona. Once you finish the campaign, you can start all over again, making different decisions along the way and discovering Malhya in a way that you haven't before. This is a detailed and broad role-playing experience. The depth of gameplay will be synonymous with other big games in the genre like Gloomhaven, Chronicles of Drunagor, Iridia, Oathsworn, and plenty of others. It focuses on narrative and on the freedom of players deciding how their adventure unfolds. If that lack of linear play would bother you, then the open world might offer too many choices. It's an immersive experience, one that will reward an investment of time. The more your hero grows and the farther into the world you venture, the more you'll reap those rewards. So keep in mind what the game is asking of you in return for that adventure. This is a game full of possibilities. It's an open book with a waiting pen, ready for whatever player wants to write their story in its pages. The lands of legends await, and it only takes that first step to be transported to another world. If you're looking for that escape, for a story that will unravel and weave itself together all at the same time, then Malhya will be something special. Narrative experiences like this are such a joy to explore because they create memorable tabletop moments for the players involved. The fight that almost ended it all. The hero who never made it home. The evil that is pushed back but never quite defeated. And all of the characters met along the way. These memories stand out, and if Malhya does it right, you'll want to jump right back in to experience it all over again.
There you are. Thanks for watching. Remember, this is available over on Kickstarter. The link is always in the top of the video description. Swing over there, take a closer look, see if this game is right or wrong for you, and determine if you're going to be able to table it or not, because at the end of the day, that's one of the biggest questions you have to ask yourself. With that being said, I'm insanely excited to dive into the final version of this game, and I'm glad we got a chance to share it with you, early. Yeah. Whatever the case, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing, get out and play some games. We'll see you next time. Thank you.